Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the Lenovo Legion Slim 7i for 2023. Now this just arrived from Lenovo for review purposes, and I'm excited to share it with all of you because it really does represent one of the most powerful thin and light laptops on the market. It retails for roughly $2,100, a little under that. I'll include a link in the description. And this is actually the exact same model that you would find at Best Buy. So that link, literally the exact same machine that I'm opening right now. So we've got an RTX 4070 under the hood, 90 to, I believe, 140 watt max power on that GPU. So I'm expecting some pretty good performance. An Intel 13th Gen Core i9 processor. We have 16 gigs of RAM. Now, something you should know about the RAM is that the 16 gigs are soldered onto the board, but then you do have the ability to upgrade because they did leave us one slot for a user upgrade. We've got a 1 terabyte NVMe. It is a Gen 4 drive as I get this out of the box. And this really is going to be very similar to the previous generation Slim 7i from last year. But again, the key is really in the new CPU-GPU combo. Now, with regard to battery life, I don't have exact numbers. I know what I've seen, which is that, we're probably going to see somewhere around 7 hours, which I think is pretty good when you take into account, again, what this machine has to offer. So I'm going to open this up, and let's take a look at the machine. Then I'm going to show you the power brick as well, because it does still have a regular brick. After all, this is, in essence, a regular gaming laptop, but I have to say that the design on the Legion Slim line is one of my favorite. Now, last generation, we had an undulating back. That is gone. It's been done away with. Let me get the box out of the way. And that isn't something that I'm going to personally miss. I do miss it more so on the Pro model, the, more expensive, well, not more expensive, but heavier, larger version of this machine. Which, obviously is going to deliver more performance, generally speaking. But this is really, again, thin and light at under 5 pounds, and it's a really nice machine. And this doesn't have to be a gaming rig. If you want a workstation and deal with any sort of, CAD, Revit, anything with rendering, video editing, photo editing, this is probably going to be one of the easiest machines for me to recommend if it performs as I expect. So power port right there. I'll show you that adapter in a second. HDMI 2.1 out, 3 Type A USB ports, and part of what I really like about this machine is the I/O. Very generous on this. Build quality is really nice. You've got a UHS 2 full-size SD card slot right there. Your privacy switch for the full HD camera, ventilation. Nothing here on the front other than the little Legion logo, or I should say it's just the word Legion, which hopefully comes into focus for us, but not that critical. And then on the other side, we've got our Thunderbolt 4 port, as well as our Type-C port with power delivery and our headphone microphone combo jack. And that's pretty much it. I'll take you to the bottom of the device as well. Just a lot more ventilation, combination of intake. I believe these are our speakers right here. And let's take a look at that power brick. So I'm going to put this down for a second and just pop this open. So I believe it's a 230 watt brick, but let's find out to be sure. And it is. I mean, it appears to be. Yep, it's the 230 watt brick that Lenovo's been using for some time. And it's not incredibly small, but it's certainly nowhere near what you might anticipate for the sort of performance that this machine should end up delivering. So let me go ahead and open it up. And as you can see, one-handed operation there, not a problem. And I had been requesting this machine from Lenovo ever since I saw it become available at Best Buy, which was more than a few months ago, might be 3 months already. So I'm just really happy that we finally have it in the studio. Build quality seems excellent. Design language, I think, better than ever. Again, not that much of a deviation from the previous generation. See if I can power this on. We're in business. Per key RGB backlighting, and you can customize this. They do have a 32 gig option on the RAM if you need it. Wi-Fi 6E, of course, is on board. The display has two different options, and I'm going to change the camera angle right now for you. The display I believe I have here, again, it is the Best Buy model, is a 2560 by 1600 resolution panel, high refresh on this. If you go with the higher res option that they now have, which definitely seems interesting to me, then you're going to be spec'd out at, I believe, 3000 by 2000. I think that's the resolution. But since I don't have this model, excuse me, I don't want to get too deep into that other resolution option, because after all, this is what we're working with. So let me go ahead and get a wider perspective, get this thing totally in frame, and we can at least take a better look at the machine. So again, that full HD webcam top center. I don't think that this supports, it's not an IR camera, so no Windows Hello, I don't think. But still a 16 by 10 aspect ratio, which I prefer for work, definitely better than a 16 by 9, and that's been the shift now for several years. The trackpad, seems responsive, and I believe this is a 240 hertz panel. Let me just double check that right now. And I think if you go with the higher res panel that I was mentioning before, then you are going to only be looking at a 165 hertz refresh rate. So, it really is a matter of personal preference. I think 165 hertz is enough. I don't really feel so far that I see a tremendous difference between 240 and 165. There is a difference, but I wouldn't scoff at 165 hertz. And if it is more color accurate and delivers higher res, which at least it appears to, I would probably go with that model at the sacrifice again of that 240 hertz refresh rate, which I just confirmed. So this does appear to be, in my opinion, one of the nicest machines out there right now. I'm going to back this up even more. If, again, you're looking for a thin and light solution, because I don't know how much better you're going to really get overall with performance when you take into account that, this does get 90 to, again, 140 watts to that 4070 with 8 gigs of VRAM. Having that added ability now that you can easily upgrade this to 32 gigs by just throwing a 16 gig DIMM in there for the RAM is certainly nice. I hope one day we'll see this machine fully upgradable with no soldered RAM, but that's just not where we're at here in 2023. But I have to say, if you're looking for something that's going to deliver near the same performance as, again, the Legion Pro 7i with a 4070, this is where it's at. You're getting, in my opinion, again, great build quality from what I'm seeing here in this unboxing. I'm not seeing any wobble. I mean, I really had to push that to create a wobble, but from just moving, it's a firm hinge, and key travel, as usual, very good with Lenovo's keyboards, especially here in the Legion line. Seems nice. I like that we have the numerical keypad as well. Some people prefer not to have the numpad. I like having it. It's always beneficial when it comes to work. It's something I miss, generally speaking. But again, the beauty of this machine is that it's thin and light, under 5 pounds. Throw in that brick, and then you're getting closer to 6, and your display goes all the way down to 180 degrees there. So just nice to have that range of motion if you need it. Now let me go ahead and get us on Wi-Fi, and I'll just give you a quick AV test of the display, because I am curious how, what it looks like. It's not touchscreen, not that anybody thought it was, but I'm just putting that out there. And this is a machine that's very similar to the acronym that I'm reviewing right now in terms of specifications. Same CPU, same GPU. Of course, the power thresholds on them are the main difference, and then overall weight. I mean, you are looking at a machine here, as I keep mentioning, that's thin and light when compared to traditional gaming laptops, but that is tough for it to compete with gaming tablets from Asus. So that's probably a review I'll end up getting to, even though I don't feel this machine directly competes with it. But if you're, gaming and working in a world of thin and light machines, then it certainly makes sense. So let's go ahead and just launch Edge. As much as I don't really care for it, go ahead and navigate over to YouTube. Typing experience is good. Again, that's what I expect. Brightness is pretty high, so let's go ahead and drop that down. This can be overclocked, all inside of Lenovo's software, something, when I get to an update that I will share with everyone. And that's part of the beauty of having this machine. Lenovo's entire 2023 lineup really allows for customization with performance and in the BIOS that just doesn't historically exist from any manufacturer, any mainstream manufacturer. So kudos to Lenovo on this. And boy, the Wi-Fi performance seems very good. And we're going to see what the video and audio performance are like as well right now. Let's go ahead and make sure I've got volume all the way up, which I do now. And let's take a look and a listen. I just turned off the studio lights so you could get even better idea of that performance. Well, I think it looks good. So remember, we're dealing with a matte display here, which I absolutely prefer. Some people, don't. But in this case, I think that at least from a superficial level of what I'm seeing and what we know is inside of this machine, it seems like a winner. But of course, I need to start benchmarking it, installing some games, installing video editing software, and then I'll be able to report back to all of you on whether or not this appears to be a worthwhile investment at roughly $2,100 US. Another thing I do like is that you may have noticed just now that the indicators for the rear I/O, the rear ports, still light up, just like the previous generation Legion Pro. Unfortunately, with the Pro 2023, Lenovo did eliminate that, but you still have that here in the Legion Slim 7i for 2023. So that's another nice element that I wish they retained, but you can still get it here in a much thinner, and I would say more attractive. That's not a knock against the regular Pro model, but I really like this machine. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. Hit that like button, and as usual, please feel free to subscribe, and please stay safe. Later.